A very good morning as we say goeiemiddag and welcome to GENK in Belgium. Welcome to the home of champions. Welcome to round one of the 2024 Rotax Euro Trophy presented for the very first time by WSK Promotion. Great to have your company here this morning. This is the first of four rounds for 2024. We're here at this famous historic circuit just not too far from the Dutch border. This is the Dutch-speaking side of Belgium, a country which has been divided into, well, geographically not so much, but politically very much so for the past 2 centuries. In just a few moments, the first of our pre-finals this morning, 239 drivers from 40 nations around the world. We're at this circuit built by the Lemons family back in 1983. 9 pre-finals and then the 5 finals, which you can catch live, of course, right here on Motorsport TV. The weather, fortunately, well, you may recall the Winter Cup down in the south of Spain where we were expecting beautiful Spanish sunshine, but it just rained and even nearly snowed for some of us travelling back from the first round of, or the first event of the European Rotax racing season. Ironically, here in Belgium, a country which is famous for its changeable weather, we have had beautiful sunshine over the past 2 days. It is a little bit cloudy this morning, but summer is in the air. At the moment, it is 13 degrees Celsius, and we're expecting almost up into the 20-degree mark for our finals later this afternoon. Round 1 of 4 for 2024. From here, we go to Wackersdorf, Pro-Kart Raceland in the south of Germany, down in Bavaria. We go to Frankfurt for round 3. And then the 4th final championship deciding round on the last day of August, the 31st of August, Saturday night under lights at the centre of the karting universe, South Garda Karting, for the final round of the 2024 Rotax Series. The first pre-final just in a few moments' time for DD2 Masters. As we say, 239 drivers from 40 countries here in the 5 different categories. DD2 to come out onto the circuit in just a moment. Nicolas Pigot, the French driver, the reigning European DD2 Masters champion, will start from pole position. Great racing throughout the heats over the past couple of days. We had qualifying a couple of days ago. Pole position in DD2 Masters from Nicolas Pigot. He did finish in 2nd place. The season opening Winter Cup, it was very wintry down in the south of Spain. Martinius Tankavicius from Lithuania taking the victory at Campios. But no doubt that the French driver, who's also been racing in KZ2 over the past couple of seasons, he is the driver to beat. This is GENK in Belgium. Great to have your company. As we look at the grid for the pre-final for DD2 Masters, it is Nicolas on pole. Harold Skarkaklis back for 2024. Is the Latvian Igor Mulkin from Cyprus out of 3. Christoph Adams, who has been racing since the dawn of the Rotax era more than 2 decades ago. Kapitan Tankavicius, the Winter Cup champion. Krapov in the Mach 1 Cup. Martin Konopka from Slovakia. Karl Klebol, the Belgian driver here in Belgium. Brankush, that is Andreas for the KSB racing team. The Austrian team for the German driver Karl Siemens. And Kamil Kubera from the Czech Republic in the Sodi karts. 529 from the Czech Rotax Max Challenge. 12 karts for the DD2 Masters Series. First round here at the GENK circuit in Belgium, the home of champions. One of the most important, is the DD2 Masters pre-final to race over 13 laps. Nicolas Pigot on pole position. The fastest qualifier with a 54 dead, a 0.59. 48 hours ago, he is the reigning champion. There is Harold Skarkaklis back with us after a break over the past, well, half decade or so. Temporarily semi-retiring at the end of 2017. The Latvian is back, 5.08 on the outside front row of the grid. Welcome to GENK in Belgium. Welcome to the home of champions. The first round of the Rotax Max Challenge Euro Trophy for 2024. We race Nicholas launches into the lead. Nice start up into second place. The Tony Karts go first and second. That is Igor Mulkin from the Mediterranean island of Cyprus. The Cypriot behind the Frenchman. Nicholas, the reigning champion, super start as he goes down into turn 6 and accelerates up the back straight, looks over the left shoulder for the first time. Garkaklis trying to recover, looking out for Christoph Adams as well. Finishing 5th in last year's series despite missing the last round. Held at the PFI circuit in England in 2023. An incident at the top of the circuit though. We have lost Brankush and Kaltsimas. They've come together, can you believe, on the opening lap of the race in turn 11. They are attempting to restart. They do so as Pico comes across the line for the first time, way down the field. Andreas Brankush, the KSB Racing team driver, and Ricard Kaltsims from Latvia. They collide out of turn 11 as Pico goes up the top straight. Well, those two drivers, the Latvian and the Austrian, just start the second lap of the race now. They are 25, 26 seconds behind the race leader, the reigning champion, Nicholas Pico, who's controlling the pace. It's a Tony Kart 1-2. Back to Garkaklis in the 508 Birulat. DD2 Masters, the first of our 9 pre-finals here this morning, as the beautiful Belgian weather has turned it on this weekend. 24 degrees Celsius we had yesterday. After watching the Belgian Formula 1 Grand Prix a couple of years ago, the non-race, you know how changeable the weather is. Mind you, that was in the French part of Belgium. This is proudly the Flemish, the Dutch-speaking part of Belgium. 20 degrees Celsius, a dry circuit. No chance of rain. I can't say that in Belgium because it does change. We are not expecting rain here today, regardless of which weather app we're using. Nicholas Pico leads the Tony Kart 1-2 at the moment. Garkaklis. That's Bastian Krapoff in the Mach 1 kart in P4. It's the German driver, the German team, the German kart. Great to see the variety here. We had an OTK dominance in the Rotax Max Challenge Winter Cup at Campios. Sure, it's the Green Machines 1-2, but the Birulat's in third. Krapoff in the Mach 1 karts. A few of the German karts here, racing here this weekend. Bastian Krapoff in 4th place, as Nicholas with a 54.8. 8/10 of a second off his qualifying pace, but he's quicker at this early stage of the race. There's the Mach 1 kart in P4 of Krapoff, the Mach 1 manufacturer, winning the 2002 Formula E European Championship with David Henkemeyer. That was 22 years ago. Consistently on the podium, though, in the German championships over the past couple of years in various categories. And then running P4 with Krapoff in the black machine. That's Adams, Capitana. Tankavicius back in 7. Has struggled for that last 10th of a second this weekend here at GENK in Belgium. Martinez, Tankavicius, Martin Konopka, Karl Global, Kamil Kubera. Pico now, 8/10 of a second over the Cypriot. As we start lap 5 of 13, DD2 Masters. The pre-final here this morning at GENK in Belgium. You can see the rubber line as Nicholas down into turn 6. The top part of the circuit, one of the original sections of the original GENK circuit. There is Igor Mulkin going through 538 the Cypriot. From the Cyprus Championships 2025. Well, the calendar has not yet been announced, but hey, there's quite a few circuits down in the Mediterranean island of Cyprus, particularly that Daytona Raceway where the Cypriot Championship takes place. How about the 2025 round? Why not in Cyprus? I'm sure Igor Mulkin would like that. He's in second place at the moment. Has won in the past in DD2 Masters. Mind you, we have to go back almost a decade. Igor Mulkin winning at Wackersdorf in Masters DD2. That was 2015, I want to say. Almost a decade ago, Wackersdorf. where we race the second round of the Max Challenge. Garkarklis, Krapov, as Adams, Kapitan, Tunkovic going through. Good fight between that group. Konopka, clear ball. Kamil Kubera in the 529 Sodi cards. Nicholas down in front of the grandstand. Turns in straight. There's a violent bump right there in the middle of the circuit. Unsettles the kart, keeps it as straight as possible as we move into the second half of the first of our 9 pre-finals here this morning. DD2 Masters. It's the French driver, the reigning champion, who leads the way. From the Cypriot, Igor Mukin. Harold Garkarklis from Latvia in P3. 54.6 now. 54 dead, a 0.59 in qualifying. Igor Mukin, second place, also on the podium in the Rotax Grand Finals in the E2, the electric category in Bahrain at the end of 2023. Nicholas keeps looking back to Igor. There is Mukin. Krapov going through, then Christoph Adams. Driver to watch out for this weekend, DD2 Masters, currently in P6. Christoph Kapitan, who's finished 4th, 5th, 4th over the last 3 seasons in the in the Rotax Max Challenge Euro Trophy. 5th last year and 4th both in 2022 and the year prior. Christoph Kapitan looking to take the biggest series win of his career, but at the moment he's fallen back into position 6. He was running in the top 3 throughout the heats over the past 2 days. This is Nicholas Picot with a purple sector on lap 8 of 13. The gap out to 1.1 seconds. The Frenchman also dividing his time in the French Championships, racing in KZ2. Krapov goes through. Then that group of Adams, Kapitan, Martin Konopka from the famous Konopka family from Slovakia, also racing in the European Le Mans Series in LMP3 and in LMP2. Bratislava racing. Martin Konopka, though, now moving up into 6th place, going by Tunkovicius, as Kapitan falls back to 8. Martin Konopka from Slovakia racing in the Central European Championships and, of course, in the Slovakian Rotax Max Challenge. Nicholas down through the right-hander, down through the chicane. That's Mukin going through. Garkarklis, Krapov, Adams, Konopka, Tunkovicius, Kapitan, Kalklubol. Kamil Kubera in the Sodi kart turns down into the chicane as Nicholas again looks behind. He almost needs rear view mirrors on that Tony kart. He doesn't really need them, though. You can see the bump in the middle of the circuit in front of the grandstand. Does look behind, but he's gone purple. He's got 1.4 seconds. Comes across the line at 116 kilometers an hour. 117 for Igor Mukin. Nothing in performance difference-wise in the DD2 karts. Direct drive, there is no chain. The gearbox going, or the axle going right through the gearbox. This revolutionary kart. The original version. Would you believe, ironically enough, we have to go back to the year 2000 when Rotax launched the original RM1. It was built by Sodi Kart. It was launched at this very circuit back in 2000 when the European Championships were raced here. Formula A and Formula Super A, won respectively by Heikki Kovalainen for Formula A and Lewis winning for Dino Chiesa, Team NDM as it was. That was on the original circuit. That's when the first evolution of the DD2 kart was presented to the world. And there are a few of you that will remember it also had a reverse gear. The first RM1 kart, which has evolved into this. A fantastic DD2, 2-speed, direct drive, there is no chain. The axle through the gearbox. Near on bulletproof. As Nicholas just glances at the temperature. Not as much heat as he would like, so the blind goes down slightly on the radiator. This is lap 11 and 13. DD2 Masters at GENK in Belgium, round 1 of the Euro Rotax Trophy for 2024. Mukin, Garkarklis, that's Krapov in the Mark 1 kart. The German in the German kart, P4, Tunkovic is now up into 5. is the Winter Cup champion. 2 laps remaining for Nicolas Picot. The gap 1.9 seconds. The pole sitter who finished P2 in the season opening Winter Cup at Campios. Controlling the pace, just glances over the circuit. Incidentally, Andreas Brancusch, who came together with Ricard Calciumus, or Ricard and Andreas. It was off screen. We don't know exactly what happened. We turned that corner in the background to see those 2 cars parked. They are still circulating. 20-odd seconds behind Camille Kubera, who's in P10 in the Sodi kart. But out front, Nicolas Picot, as the sun comes out to shine. The flowers are blooming in beautiful Belgium. And the Frenchman, Nicolas Picot, starts son dernier tour dans le tête de la course. He won for the Frenchman on his last lap. Hard on the brakes into turn 6, shoots up the back straight. The gap over 2 seconds now. 54.4 is the fastest lap of the race for the reigning champion, who rides the ripple strip down through the chicane. The first of our pre-finals this morning, round 1 of the 2024 Rotax Euro Challenge. Here's Mulkin. He'll come home in second from Harold Skakaklis, the returning Latvian, into the final corner. And Le Drapeau à Damier awaits for the Frenchman. He takes the checkered flag to win the pre-final this morning. It's a Tony Kart 1-2. Igor Mulkin, the Cypriot second. That's Skakaklis. Crap off in the Mach 1 car. Takavicius also for the Viral Arts. And then Adams, Knotka, Capitan Carl Clebor has Camille Cabera across the line. Here's the check in P10. We wait for Brancusch and Carl Sims. They're 11 and 12 as the final finishes in the first of our pre-finals here this morning. Underway here today, Nicolas Picot, the fastest qualifier, the reigning European champion, takes victory by 2.2 seconds. He'll line up on pole position for the final, trying to take the title. The Rotax Euro Trophy for the second year in a row. The reigning champion, who qualified on pole position, takes the win from Igor Mulkin. The Cypriot ahead of the Latvian. There's Krapov, Tankavicius, Adams P6, Konoka, the Slovakian. Capitan back in 8. He was better than that throughout the heats. The French driver for Team RM Concept. It's an OTK chassis. Carl Clebor, Camille Cabera in the Sodi kart, and Brancusch and Carl Sims, who came together on the first lap of the race. They did rejoin, finishing just over half a minute behind the race winner, Nicolas Picot, who takes victory in the first of our 9 pre-finals here this morning. Great to have your company here at GENK in Belgium, the home of champions. The sun coming out to shine here at GENK in Belgium. And coming out onto the circuit, DD2 pre-final A. We'll take a look at the grid for you in a moment. I can tell you that Enzo Bol for Stampex Motorsport is the driver to beat. He will start on pole position in the Card Republic alongside the fastest qualifier, Paul Forkerman, for the Belgian Dams Racing Team. Thomas Berstens, what a story this is, coming from the Sodi World Series. Maxim Diedex, Nikita Jenset, Victor Bay, David Maslakevich, Zentarou, the Belgian Slovenian out of 8, Leon Chelenko, his teammate. Here's the Croatian. Christiansen, Thomas Rotax, Will Ellsworth, the Soul Grit, Dylan LaHaye, Leonardo Baccalini, l'unico italiano, Jules Kazan, Marco Drittenpriest, Victor Sandin, Martins Janovskis. And the final row of the grid is Shinabak from Belarus and Lucas Dolazal in the 468 Saudi cards. Paul Fokoman, pole position. So pre-final 8 for DD2, 39 drivers in the direct drive 2-speed category. As Ellswood going through, Rudolkas, Dylan LaHaye, the Dutchman. The Belgian, I should say, for the Dutch team, SP Motorsport. It's his teammate Enzo Ball, who's also racing in KZ2 in 2024. Stan Peck's Motorsport. Enzo Ball in der erste Position, Grid 1 for the Dutchman, for the Dutch team over their border here in Belgium. Pre-final 8 for DD2. Enzo on pole position to the left of your screen. We race. Forecoman around the outside, but he's been passed by Thomas. Here stands up the inside in the 411. Viral Arts goes on through into P2. Forecoman trying to recover. He's in P3. The Dams racing driver. This is Enzo Bol, the race leader for Stampex Motorsports. Looks over his right shoulder. Head down behind the steering wheel. Animated as he turns in. Nice pass down the inside. Nicely done by the Belgian Maxim Didix. The Shepherds racing team also in a Czech Republic. Nice move to take the pole sitter. Paul Forecoman, the Frenchman. For the Belgian team, he's back into P4. Forecoman quickest in Friday qualifying and quickest in the early part of the weekend, but Enzo Bol, the Czech Republic, for Stampex Motorsport, it has just got faster and faster as the day's gone on, as the weekend's gone on, as we look at Victor Bay, Leon Zelenko, the Dane, and the Croatian. They're inside the top 8. Maslakovic, David just ahead in P7. So it's Bol from Diersteins. That's Maxim Didix for the Belgian team. Slight error there from Thomas. A relative newcomer to international karting. Made his start in the Saudi World Series as we see Nikita Jense down the inside. Moving up for Door Motorsport, going through into P4. Zenderu follows him on through. The former Belgian, now Slovenian. Yes, this is his home circuit. If we go far enough back in time, Zenderu, superstar international kart racer over the past decade or more. Zenderu, who had brake issues in qualifying, did not set a quick lap. Had to come from the back of the grid. Zenderu 404 up into P5 behind the German Nikita Jense. They go by Paul Forecoman, who is struggling. He's falling back into 6th place. Paul Forecoman, who was on the podium. La Conca Murologese, 2008, the Rotax Max Grand Finals. Nearly 2 decades ago, he finished 3rd in juniors. Back the first time that the Rotax Max Grand Finals were held at La Conca. Paul Forecoman, the French driver for the Belgian team, pole position on Friday. He's fallen back to P6. Enzo Bol with the race lead, being attacked by the Belgian. The Dutch-speaking drivers in 1 and 2. Thomas, the Latvian in 3rd. Enzo across the line at 117 km an hour, 118 for Maxim just behind. The Czech Republic's run 1-2. Good strong run from Nikita Jense for Dual Motorsport, the German team. Also racing in the DD2 Masters series. In GT4 and GT3. Enzo looks back behind him. His half sort of teammate, Maxim Didix, the Shepherds racing team. They are working together sort of this weekend. Here's an opportunity into turn 11. Enzo knows that he closes the door. Maxim, the Belgian, all over the back of the Dutchman. Looks left, puts the kart, keeps the kart in the middle of the circuit, rights the bump. Right there as they turn in, you can see they're almost getting airborne on that repaired part of the circuit. Enzo defends into the final corner. Maxim sends it down the inside. And the Belgian goes through to take the top spot away from Enzo Bol. Maxime Didix from here in Belgium leads here in Belgium. Pre-final A for DD2. Enzo back to second. Thomas, superb. Biersteins is coming. The Latvian got his start in the Saudi World Series, the rental series. Would you believe? And now he's running third. Take a look at this. The best passing opportunity on the circuit. Maxime. Enzo tried to defend, mind you. Put it up the inside. And Maxime just sent it to go down and take the lead. It's the Czech Republic, though, still running in 1 and 2. Thomas P3. There's that violent bump on the penultimate corner. That's the Burilat in third place. The MRG racing team, the Latvian in third place. And it's Nikita for Door Motorsport with engines tuned by Stampex. The Door Motorsport team and SP Motorsport team working together this weekend. Different teams, but both with SP tuned Rotax DD2 engines. Stan himself watching on from the final corner. But it's Maxime Didix for the Shepherds racing team in P1. There's Zendero in P5. Fastest lap of the race, though, for Leonardo Baccalini. The only Italian in this race. He's done a 54.141. He's in P11 behind Victor Sandin, ahead of Jules Cousin. Zen on the charge, 4.04. The now Slovenian from here in Belgium, who spent the last decade living in Florence in Italy, also racing in KZ2. The car would not stop in qualifying. Basically, the brakes did not work. He had to abandon qualifying. Zendero, 4.04, up into P5. Multiple podiums over the past decade in DD2, in Senior Max, in KZ2 as well. Zendero, 4.04 in position 5, in position 4. Zen goes through. He takes the German Nikita Gente, who tries to fight back. That's Dylan LaHaye in the background. Victor Bay, David Maslakovic is ahead of, would you believe, Paul Foucault, the fastest qualifier. The Frenchman has fallen back into P9. .404 in position 4, it's then. The second half of pre-final A for DD2. Enzo retrying to take the lead at 119 k's an hour across the line. He slightly gets the slipstream, 117 for Maxime Didix. Still back at Yini with a 54.141, the fastest on circuit. Look at the rubber offline. That is Nikita Gente for Door Motorsport. Shepherds racing team with Maxime Didix, the Belgian in P1. Enzo has a look. Down into the chicane, rides the ripple strip, tight to line from Bowl. The gap almost 0.2 of a second. You can see it's basically a kart length. And about 4 lengths back to Thomas Biersteins, the Latvian. Zendero pulls away from Nikita Gente. Paul Foucault has fallen back to P10. Baccalini, the Italian, Leonardo up into P9 and with the fastest middle sector. There's the Italian coming on to the straight now. He's just passed the Frenchman, Paul Foucault. 5 laps remaining, pre-final A, DD2 round 1. The 2024 Euro Trophy here at GENK in Belgium. The Dutch-speaking drivers, first and second as Leonardo, the graphic at the bottom left of your screen, almost into the 53s. A 0.84 last time. Goes by Maslakovic. David's also gone by and taken Paul Foucault. Send in Rodopus. Jules Cousin, the Belarusian, Sinabach. Head of Ellswood, Christensen. Dritter Brace from Austria. Leon Jelenko. The Croatian, Janovskis. And Lucas Dolital, the Czech, in the 4.68 Saudi kart, rounds out the field. 4 laps remaining. 117 k's an hour for Maxime Didix, 119.7 for Enzo Boll as the Belgian punches a hole in the air. It is still Czech Republic running 1 and 2. Zendero going on through, 4.04 in 4th place into turn 6. 39 drivers in DD2. Well, this is the first of 4 rounds for 2024. Here at GENK in Belgium, then Wackersdorf, Pro Kart Raceland in Germany for round 2. Franciacorta for the first time, and also for the first time at the center of the karting universe. South Garda Karting Lonato, the last day of August, under lights Saturday night. A spectacular conclusion to the Rotax Max Euro Trophy, being presented for the very first time by the team at WSK Promotion. Rides the ripple strip and gets sideways on the exit, does Enzo. Slightly costly, maybe just a few inches, but he makes it up. Down through the chicane. This is lap 11 and 13, different lines from the Belgian and the Dutchman. Still Kart Republic of 1 and 2. Look at the rubber offline. Online, the Mojo is painting this 1,360 meter circuit black. An opportunity coming up into the final corner. Enzo on lap 11. Will he send it down the inside? Maxim knows it, covers the line. Thomas Bierstens is Zenderu in position for another fastest lap for Baccalini. A 53.989 for the only Italian in pre-final 8. He's the only driver also to go under the 54-second bracket. Over the ripple strip again, had to think about it going into turn 6. Thomas Bierstens is just watching this as Maxim gets slightly sideways, out of 6, going onto the back straight. Baccalini, incidentally, is up into position 6. This is the penultimate lap of pre-final 8 for DD2. Nikita Genser still sits there in P5 for Dawn Motorsport. Ahead of the Italian going through, Lahey Maslakovic, Paul Fogelman in P9, the fastest qualifier. The Dutch-speaking drivers from Belgium and the Netherlands start the last lap of the race. Dit is de laatste ronde. De twee piloten van België and the Netherlands in the eerste posities. That's about the end of my Dutch, so we'll stay with English. The Belgian on his home circuit, Maxim Didix, heads Enzo Bol, who started from pole position. Nikita has to defend. That's the Italian, Baccalini, who set the fastest lap of the race. Around the outside. Can't do it. Nikita holds him off for the moment. Baccalini wants position 5. He's got one more opportunity coming up, as has Enzo, as Nikita defends in the background. Bol into the final corner. We'll try it, but Maxim's away to it. We'll try and get the run as they come up the line. But that checkered flag will wave. The Belgian wins here in Belgium. Pre-final A for DD2. Enzo second, Thomas third. Zenderu goes on through 4.04 in 4. Baccalini does take Genset on the final corner to come home P5 from grid 14 with the fastest lap of the race. As Leon Zelenko, the Croatian, crossing the line ahead of Janovskis. Martins in the 4.22. MRG Racing, Gillard Kart, and Lucas Dolizal in the Saudi Kart crosses the line in P20 as the final finisher. We take a look at the highlights of pre-final 8 for DD2. Enzo Bol, pole sitter, leading away. But it was the Belgian, Maxim Didix, who was soon by Thomas Bierstens. And then this move into the final corner to go down the inside and take the lead. Enzo shadowed him, came home just a tenth of a second behind. Maxim Didix controlling the pace in the background. It was Leonardo Baccalini who was carving on through the field. He would ultimately finishing in P5, but Maxim Didix, the Belgian here in Belgium, wins pre-final A for DD2. Enzo Bol, the Dutchman, SP Motorsport second. Thomas Bierstens, great run from the Latvian. Zenderu comes through in position 4. Baccalini from grid 14 and the fastest lap of the race in 5. Genser, Lahey, Maslakovic, Paul Fogelman, the fastest qualifier in P9. The biggest kart racing event in the world takes place this year at Circuito Internazionale Napoli, as you just saw, simply known as Sano. There is tremendous work going on by the Sorrentino family down at the Sano circuit, which will host the Rotax Max Grand Finals for 2024 at the end of October. You don't want to miss that, but of course before then we have to race the Euro Trophy for 2024. The first edition, we go back to the year 2000, so 1/4 of a century ago, from humble beginnings. That was in Puerto Rico. And now the biggest event in the world, coming back to the south of Italy, the Sano circuit, for 2024. In just a moment, pre-final B for DD2, to be led out by Patrick Lockmellis. Take a look at the grid for you. It is Patrick Lockmellis who starts out of pole from the Grand Finals champion, Rania Vidas, Shabo, Babaru, Christensen. Noah Hip out of 6 in the RF concept kart. Axel Saniala, the 2019 Grand Finals champion, Hannes Marin, Shurko, and Aaron Krebschik from Hungary. 10 shirt, David Alletner back in 12. Nico Guillaume for SP Motorsport, Max Overhoff. We'll speak about the German for Tour Motorsport throughout the weekend. Fabian Bock on the podium at Campios. Wittmar, Rainer Scher with a couple of DNFs throughout the week. Louis Koch and Jordi Clairball. Pre-final B for DD2, Patrick Lockmellis, the Winter Cup champion, the Latvian for MRG Racing. It's the 418 Birilat on pole position, Rania Vidas, Grand Finals champion in the Middle East in Bahrain in 2023. Bende Shabo finished 11th in the Grand Finals, immaculately presented. He's the Birilat. 496. Antoine Barbarol, the Frenchman, out of grid 4. William Christensen, 420 for RS Competition, alongside Noah Hip for RM Concept. Louis Koch for Tour Motorsport, 401. The German driver, the German team. You can see the Kart Republic forming up at the back of the grid. He'll try and get a run as they come onto the straight. Pre-final B for DD2. Round 1, the Rotax Euro Trophy for 2024. Doubtless we'll get a start. Indeed we don't. Another formation lap. Rolling up in neutral and trying to smash it into first gear at exactly the right moment, with the engine bouncing off the rev limiter to try and get the jump in down into turn 1. This is pre-final B for DD2. Great to have your company wherever you're watching us live around the world on Motorsport TV. This is GENK in Belgium, the home of champions. One of the most famous circuits in the world. One lap is 1,360 meters. There to the bottom right of your screen is what does remain of the original circuit, which was built by the Lemons family back in 1983. Everybody who is everybody has raced on this circuit, including in its former formation. Rebuilt 2 decades ago. 4 decades, 40 years of racing last year, and host venue for round 1 of the Rotax Euro Trophy for 2024. Watch out for Axel Saniala in this. The Finnish driver for the Force Racing Finland team in the 469 Tony Kart. He was the Rotax Senior Max Grand Finals champion in 2019. Starts on the 4th row of the grid alongside Hannes Modin for RS competition. Melis will be to the left of your screen in just a moment. Leads the field up to the line at walking pace. DD2 pre-final B. Patrick's to the left. Runya to the right. We race. Barbarol around the outside. The Frenchman tries to go on through. He holds it. Holds the line off the circuit, but he stays in position 4. He's on the outside of Christensen, who slots in behind in position 5. But it's Patrick's, the Latvian, who leads. They go down the back straight for the first time. Right now, Vidas, the Estonian, in second place. The field scatter. There's Noah here for RM Concept, who turns in rallycross style, trying to defend. Noah Hip in the 414. Great turn of speed for the Frenchman throughout the heats. He started out at P6. He runs there at the moment. In fact, he's lost a position. Just been passed by the Virulat. Maxim Shurko from Lithuania goes on by, dives down the inside. Ben Shabal from Hungary goes up into second place. Nice pass by the Hungarian up into P2, takes Runya Vidas. So the Latvian from the Hungarian, the Estonian, and then Antoine Barbaro from La France for the French Sonic Car team in 4th place. That's Christensen, the Dane for RS competition. Melis, the Winter Cup champion, he won the season opening Winter Cup at Campillos in the south of Spain. As Barbaro shoots down the inside, and he goes through to position 3. Nicely done by the Frenchman. Ben Charbol, superb from the Hungarian. Up into second place. Christensen makes the move down the inside. And the Dane goes on through into P4 as well. So we start lap 2 with Patrick Melis, the Winter Cup champion in the race lead. Ben Charbol, superbly presented. That's a 4.9. That's a Virulat, the 4.96. Christensen in the Tony Kart for RS competition. Barbaro in the Sodi Kart is right on the back of the Hungarian, who finished 11th in the grand finals in Bahrain some 6 months ago. Barbaro has a look into turn 6. The Hungarian defends. Patrick escapes. Watch him try and dive down the inside. Barbaroo sends it. Sensational from the Frenchman. The Sodi Kart shoots up into second place. Fantastic pass from Antoine Barbaroo. The Hungarian back to 3rd. Fabulous pass. As we complete lap 3 in just a moment, take a look at this. At the last possible moment, he was close to the back of the Hungarian. Did not break until he had the Sodi Kart in front of Bendo Chabol's Virulat, and has actually pulled away ever so slightly. Antoine Barbaroo, who won last year's Rotax Max Challenge International Trophy at the world-famous Le Mans circuit, now into P2. He was 6th at the season opening Winter Cup. He's chasing the driver who won at Campillos in the south of Spain to kickstart the 2024 European Rotax racing season. He's already caught up to the back of Patrick's. As Ben Charbol fights over the ripple strip, there's Christensen, Viras, Noah Hip in P6. Barbaroo has just reeled in Melis, fastest driver on the circuit. Coming from near on the back of the grid is David Alledner, who's up in a P8 with a 54.6. David Alledner trying to make his way up through. He finished 3rd in the season opening Winter Cup. on the back of Hannes Morin, and Noah Hipp will get a glimpse of the pole in the background. There he is. Down into turn one, Barbarou sends it down the inside, goes on deep, stands on the four-wheel brakes. The Soddy kart leads. Antoine Barbarou means business here this morning. The French driver in the Dutch-speaking side of Belgium. In the French kart, points ahead. Well, Antoine, there's nobody ahead, but just fresh air. Take a look at this. Down into turn one. He was glued to the back of the Latvian. Fabulous passing opportunity, and Antoine Barbarou, as the track opens up, just sent it. That was premeditated from before the previous corner. Barbarou already pulling away. Pre-final B for DD2. We're about to start lap 6 with the Frenchman in the lead. Here's Ben Charbot. Christensen up into P4. The RS competition car, the Danish driver, the Danish team. Ranja Viris is just behind. There's no hit for RF Concept. The French driver, multiple podiums in 2023 in the NSK series. Really good flashes of speed throughout the heats here this weekend. For Noah Hipp, there he is in P6, the blue and white machine. Noah, it's an OTK car, the EOS brand. Head of Hannes Morin, David Aletner, still with the fastest lap of the race, and now up in a P8. He goes by Schurko, Fabian Bock, Axel Saniala, former Grand Finals champion. The Finn back in 11 from Aaron Krepchik. Vidnar makes his way up through the field for the AKK team. Aljas Vidmar from Slovenia in the 405 Tony Karts. Behind Aaron Krepchik, ahead of Nico Guillaume. Paul Klebol, Mats Overhoff, down to 17th. An interesting entry is Mats Overhoff. Won the E20 electric category in Masters in the Grand Finals. The German not having a good run this morning though. He's down in 17th ahead of Manuel Tenschert and Brian Anscher. The Frenchman who DNF'd the very first heat on Friday and has struggled since. We're getting news that the driver just a few positions ahead, Louis Koch, is under investigation. We'll keep one eye on that as we watch Barbarou across the line to start lap 8. 54.3 for the Frenchman. Loch Mellis, 4/10 of a second behind. Louis Koch under investigation. Behind Axel Saniala, down in 11th, the former Grand Finals champion. There's Ben Charbot over the Rupel strip, down past the model, the RC racing car GENK circuit. You just get a glimpse in the background. Fabulous to see model cars racing here this weekend at the smaller circuit, the RC model racing GENK circuit, together with the Rotax Euro Trophy first round for 2024. Barbarou is pulling away, turns into the final corner. Just drifts it ever so slightly, now straightens up across the line at 117 k's an hour, 118 for Charbot. There is nothing in it in terms of straight line speed. The slowest in a straight line was Fabian Bock in P10 at 116 k's an hour, and the quickest 119, Maxim Shurko, who actually got the slipstream ever so slightly from Hannes Morin. Near on identical performance from Rotax, the DD2 engine, as we mentioned in pre-final A, the original version presented to the world back here at GENK, the original GENK circuit, together with the first round of the European Formula A and Formula Super A championships back 24 years ago in 2000. The original RM1 concept cards. Is Viris from David Aletner, fastest on circuit. Is the pole. Rides the ripple strip, does Patrick's Loch Mellis. Sits tall in the 418 Perillard, the first three pulling away. There's Christensen, Hipp. Rania Vidas just behind. Down the back straight, over the ripple strip. Airborne from the Hungarian. Ben Szabo just sends it. The rubber piling up offline and being painted onto the 1,360 metre GENK circuit online as we can complete lap 10 of 13, pre-final B for DD2. Two and a half laps remaining as we approach the 10-minute mark of pre-final B, the third of our 9 pre-finals here this morning. There's Noah Hip up into P5, the Frenchman, a dark horse for victory here. It was Fabien Bock, Saniala, Vidmar, Koch. Louis Koch from the back of the grid for Door Motorsport in the Kart Republic. For the moment, still running in 13th place behind Vidmar, but under investigation. 2 laps now remaining for the Frenchman. Looking to take pole position for the final later this afternoon. Unlikely to do so. This is the superheat or the pre-final B, with the combined points from the heats we raced on Friday and Saturday with the pre-final this morning. At the moment, it looks as though Enzo Ball will start on pole position for the final, regardless of what happens in the remaining lap and a half. Patrick Lockmellis seems to be the only driver that can change that, but he sits in P2. Antoine Barberol in P1. Unless Lockmellis can get by, Patrick's will start from grid 2 for the final later this afternoon. Round 1 of the Rotax Euro Trophy here at GENK in Belgium. Last lap of the race for the Frenchman. Here's Noah Hip. Last opportunity for Noah up into P5 behind Christensen. Too far back though. There is almost 3/10 of a second between the Dane and the second French driver. Noah, one last opportunity to go P4. Patrick's one last chance to take pole position for the final. It's looking good for Antoine Barberot to win pre-final B for DD2. Ben Szabo, a great drive into P3. Szabo to start grid 5, inside third row for the final later this afternoon. That is provisional. Le dernier virage pour Antoine Barberot. Et maintenant, voilà, le 3 pour la dernière. A gagné Antoine Barberot. The Frenchman wins pre-final B from Patrick's Lockmellis, Ben Szabo, Christensen. Noah comes home in P4 of P5 from David Oletner, who does recover after what has been a tough weekend so far for the pole in 6th place. The highlights of pre-final B for DD2 from pole position. Patrick's Lockmellis got a good start. Ben Szabo, though, with this move to go down into position 2. The Hungarian in the immaculately presented 496 kart KSB racing team up into 2nd place. It would not last for long though, because Antoine Barberot was comfortably the quickest on circuit. Went from 3rd to 2nd. And with this move into the lead down into turn 2 to take the Latvian and win pre-final B just by 1/10 of a second. Control the pace though. It is Antoine Barberot who takes victory in pre-final B. Lockmellis 2nd, Szabo 3rd. From Christensen, Noah Hip, Letner, Rania Vera 7, Maureen Shurko and Fabien Bock finishes in P10 for Craft Motorsport. 2024 Rotax Max Grand Finals, the 25th edition. Actually, no, it's not, because we did miss a year when everything was shipped to Portimao in Portugal a couple of years ago. You know the reason why we did not race. Let's not mention the C word. No, not that one. We will be back, though, at Sano, Circuito Internazionale Napoli at the end of October for the biggest kart racing event in the world, the Rotax Max Challenge, the Grand Finals at Sano in the south of Italy, the third time from memory that the Southern Italian Circuit has hosted it. 2019, 2016, and 2024. Yes, I can count. We go back to the very first edition at Puerto Rico. Just 60 drivers racing in the single category. A year later at Langkawi in Malaysia. South Africa's Varkops near Pretoria, north of Johannesburg. Sharm el Sheikh in Egypt. Lanzarote in Spain. Twice in Langkawi. 2005, Alain in the Emirates, La Conca twice, 2008 and 2010, some of the most exotic locations in the world. Back to Sano, Circuito Internazionale Napoli for the 2024 running of the Rotax Max Grand Finals. We'll take a look at the grid for pre-final 8. For Mini-Max, Zdenek, the Czech on pole position, the fastest qualifier. AJ out of grid 2, Warner, Patrice Jocic, Taylor van der Halen, first of the Belgians. Jensen Chalk, Verbeeke, Ava Lawrence, the Australian from the Emirates. Erin Ludigan, Rivers, Mark Lusada, Vic van Kampenhout, Rosa, Chernega, Walker, Kieran Stewart, Shimbashi, Grantins, Enzo Ball for Brand Racing, Al Khalifa, and it's Zucchetto, Osler, Kubera, Sebastian de Moissac, Adam Jaldatis, Ralph Rakatis also. Kit Kubera starting alongside Ken Osler for Bovine Power on the 12th row of the grid. 2 formation laps. Pre-final A for Mini-Max. This is the Belgian Cup by Mini-Max. And the winner of this round is not the Euro Trophy for this first Belgian round. Instead, the Micro Grand Final champion from 2023. Now racing in Mini Max, now in position 4. There's the Strawberry Racing driver, Van der Halen. For Boulevard Power, the Belgian driver, the Belgian team here in Belgium for the Belgian Cup for Mini Max. Harry Taylor back into P6, but has set the fastest lap as we approach half race distance, pre-final 8 for Mini Max. Jan Bulgraf sends it down the inside. And the Dutchman for SP Motorsport in the Cut Republic goes on through. He takes the lead. Zdenek back into second. Back into the lead. Zdenek puts it back down the inside. Jensen's right there as well. The Strawberry Racing Team driver in the Tony Cut. What a move from Chalk. Jensen goes on through. Van der Halen up into third place. Zdenek back into the race lead. There is Jensen and Van der Halen, Strawberry Racing and Boulevard Power in second and third place. Move down the inside from Vince van der Halen. Contact between Warner and Taylor. Chalk, in fact, it is. Van der Halen on the outside loses both the positions. And the two Brits take the Belgian from different teams, mind you. Strawberry Racing and Dan Holland Racing. Vince van der Halen for Boulevard Power. Bulgraf is losing time. There's Schoenegger. We'll take a look at this just a moment ago. Van der Halen down the inside to take Jensen Chalk. Contact between the two of them. Lucky to keep it still in the race. And at the end of that, it's Zdenek Babacek who's got the race lead. Nice move by Harry Taylor to go through into position 2. Just so briefly, though, Vince van der Halen takes him back, as does Jensen Chalk. 1, 2, 3. It's Oliver Warner in the background. And more contact again. HT says, move on over. I'm coming on through. And this gives hope to AJ Bulgraf. Jan in the background, the fastest qualifier from Schoenegger, Jochus, Erin Ludigan, Vic van Kampenhout, Marcus Hada, Ava Lawrence, Ava, she's back in 12th from Osla, Rossa, Grantins, Rivers is next. The end of lap 6. And Zdenek Babacek, who was briefly put back into second place as they fight the check pulls away. Move down the inside. Van der Halen back into third. Animated as these drivers as they cross the line. It's Harry from Vince and Jensen in P4. Warner back to 5. There's Bulgraf just watching this battle in the Kart Republic, the fastest qualifier. Jan Bulgraf in P6 from Schoenegger and Jochus. Vic van Kampenhout, Marc Quesada. The Frenchman, head of the two Turks, Unludigan and Osler. Ava Lawrence in between both of them. The penultimate lap of the race, they've caught up to the back of Zdenek Babacek. Harry Taylor for Dan Holland Racing. Pre-final 8 for Mini Max. Zdenek looks over the left shoulder, puts the cart in the middle of the circuit. Watch Vince in the background. He'll sweep around the outside, but runs out of road, just has to clip the ripple strip as we start the last lap of the race. Van der Halen in P3. Zdenek still has got the race lead. Harry in second. Contact between the two Tony karts. Van der Halen and Jensen Chalk. Warner's right there. Watch Jan Bulgraf in the background. Zdenek gets pushed. He's punted out of the lead. HT with the big move over. Now Zdenek tries to fight back. The Czech still in second place. Fantastic racing on the last lap of pre-final A for Mini Max. Shoots down the inside, does Oliver Warner. The Dan Holland Racing driver in 4th place at the moment. Zdenek in P2. They come out of the penultimate corner. It's Harry Taylor who's got the race lead for Dan Holland Racing. 1 corner remaining. He defends. He might be slightly slower on the exit, but he's got just enough of a gap to take the checkered flag and win a pulsating pre-final A for Mini Max. Taylor wins it from Babacek and Jensen in 3rd place. The highlights of pre-final A, Zdenek Babacek from pole position. It was Borgraf, the fastest qualifier on the outside, who tried to stay with Oliver Warner over the ripple strip, fighting with his Dan Holland Racing teammate Harry Taylor. Borgraf fought his way back into 2nd place, but would be passed and ultimately finish in 6th. It got messy between the 2 Tony karts. Jensen Chalk in 1.64. Van der Halen for Boulevard Power in 1.30. Zdenek trying to defend Bullgraf around the outside, losing 2 positions. Van der Halen with the big send on Jensen Chalk. They did touch. Taylor would go on through. As they reeled in the check, Zdenek Babacek, he had the race lead. Mauling the back of the MS cart, the Czech cart for the Czech driver, and then pushed out the way unceremoniously. Zdenek Babacek helpless. Taylor in 1.53 for Dan Holland Racing. They went down the back straight for the final time. No one could get close enough to the Brits, who took victory in pre-final A. Taylor takes the victory from Babacek, Chalk, Warner, Van der Halen. AJ Jan is in 6th from Patrick's, Schoenegger, Vix van Kampenhout, and Mark Quesada in 10th place. Back here at GENK in Belgium, mini pre-final B. Albert Friend to start on pole position. Capacity field almost here. Well, it is oversubscribed, and we've divided the category Mini Max into the 2 groups. Albert Friend to start on pole position. We'll take a look at the grid. It is an all-English front row of the grid. It is an all-Strawberry Racing front row. Albert and Tom Reed. Zajaj Oliver Spencer, Nikita Lubomov. And it's Khan, Myers Matsinis. What a performance throughout the heats for the Lithuanian alongside Luka Holmes-Balac, Minto and Riley Moreau. Achille Peruzzi, Martin Bertolacini, Alfie Ward for Brand Racing, Velichko, Seidel. And it's Alex Woodson, Ari Kallenberg from the Emirates, Juliana Marie, Boris Maligranda, Mia Zanki, George Lokis, Tafe Niskanen, Kelyera, Marco Plinta, and Tristan Abils joins Jente Moonen, who had a really strong run in the second heat yesterday, did the Belgian in the only Haas here racing here this weekend out of grid 25. Albert Friend leads the field around alongside his Strawberry Racing teammate. Luka Holmes-Balac, the KR Sport driver to watch here this weekend. The legendary British team, KR Sport, with some brilliant drivers over the years. The likes of Oliver Hodgson, Joseph Turney, Clayton Ravenscroft, Harrison Thomas, 2 times British Open champion, was H for the KR Sport team. It's Strawberry Racing though, who look out the front row of the grid. Luka Holmes-Balac for KR Sport, Dan Holland Racing here on the second row of the grid with Michal Zajac and Oliver Spencer, both in the Lando Norris carts. Nikita Lubomov starts out at grid 5. The Micromax Grand Finals champion from 3 years ago now for Nikita. For Boulevard Power, starts out at grid 5. This is pre-final B for Rotax Minimax. Albert on pole position. Tom out of grid 2. The Strawberry Racing carts powered by Cream engines come up to the line and we don't race. Another formation lap. Strawberry on the front row. Dan Holland Racing on the second row. Nikita for Boulevard Power. And then Hasnan Khan in the all-new, the Carlos Sainz, the CS55 cart. Khan out of grid 6. Myers Matsinis, the Lithuanian, didn't set a representative time in qualifying. Came storming through in the 151 parallel with some outstanding drives. Myers Matsinas starts out at grid 7. The Lithuanian alongside Luka Holmes-Balac. The 128 Birilat with KR Sport is Luka. Immaculately presented. There it is to the right of your screen, the white and blue machine. The parallel just to the left, that is Myers. From grid 25 up into the top 10 in each of his heats. Some stunning drives. Myers Matsinis from Lithuania to watch out for, starting on the inside, critically, the inside 4th row of the grid for this 8-lap Mini Max pre-final B. Albert and Tom, Friend and Reed on the front row of the grid, the Strawberry Racing teammates. We race. Luka shoots out into the middle of the circuit, trying to get track position. He's got it. But now he runs into the back of Matsinas and gets airborne. Luka incredibly does keep it going. On the outside is Khan in the CS55 carts. It's Albert who's got the lead. Zajac up into second place. The pole trying to take the lead away from the Winter Cup champion. Matsinas up into 4. We told you on the formation laps. Watch out for the Lithuanian. He's just been passed though. Back to P5. Matsinas, an outstanding start. In 5th place, Luka Holmes-Balac just behind. They come down into the final corner for the first time. As we see Tom Reed make a move, and it's Strawberry Racing back 1 and 2. Albert Friend, the Winter Cup champion at Campios to start the new season. As we see Khan, Bertolacini, Seidel, Minto, Alfie Ward and Kallenberg, and Peruzzi, the 3 Emirati drivers, 14, 15 and 16. Superstar from Jente Moonen driving the only Haas kart here this weekend. The Belgian driver here in Belgium, driving the Haas machine as we see Riley Moreau up almost onto the ripple strip and making, in fact he was touching the concrete curbing. Kept it clean though, he's up into position 4. Nice pass by Riley Moreau. Trying to keep one eye on Jente Moonen as well. The Belgian from the back of the grid, from grid 26, now up into 7th place. Driving the Haas kart, the single Haas kart racing here this weekend. The manufacturer which won the 1994 Formula A World Championships at the Cordoba Argentina circuit, which no longer exists, in the hands of Marco Barindelli. We'll see where Jente Moonen crosses the line. He's behind Peruzzi and Kallenberg as they fight. There's Kahn trying to defend from Bertolacini. Marcinus back into 11. The fairy tale start, it gets tough for the Lithuanian from here. Zajac, that's Riley Moreau up into 3. Sam Pollard Racing looking for their first real big major championship title, matching it with Cream Racing powered Strawberry Tony karts. They've got ahead of the DHR kart. Riley Moreau has caught the both of them. He's got by Zajac, ends at the fastest lap. Comes streaming up behind Tom Reed, who defends ever so slightly for his teammate Albert Friend. Watching to the final corner, not this time. Okay, we'll watch down into turns 1 and 2. The bricks, 1, 2 and 3. Albert Friend, Tom Reed, and now Riley Moreau for Sam Pollard Racing. Moves down the inside. Reed closes the door. Now he's on the outside. Reed rides the ripple strip. Tom behind Albert. Riley will send it up the inside here. Runs out of road. What a move by Riley. Moreau for Sam Pollard Racing. That was fantastic. Just held it, did not lift. Riley the fastest on the circuit with a 59.5, 0.3 of a second faster than the driver, who is only a few centimetres in front of him. Albert Friend, the Campios, the Winter Cup champion. Tom Reed now back into 3rd. Second year racing in the Euro Rotax Max Challenge for Tom. On the outside now, as they go side by side across the line. He's taken him. What a move from Riley. The response coming from Albert. Onto the back of Riley Moreau as we go into the second half of the pre-final. Watch this. To the left of your screen into the final corner. Drove it down the inside, fought on the grip. Clipped the ripple strip. Nicely done. Went in deep, but he's got the speed. Sam Pollard Racing hooked up here this morning. That's an Express chassis, all OTK karts in the front. Yeah, well, let's just say we have to go a long way back. In fact, it's Luca Holmes-Balic in the Berolati P7, the first non-OTK machine. The Express from the Tony karts, who go 2, 3 and 4. Nikita Lubomov is there, as is Oliver Spencer. Good drive from Goodson. Alex for MLC Motorsport. From the British Championships, from the 8th of the grid, Goodson now up into 8th. 3 laps now remaining. Pre-final B for Mini Max. The Belgian Cup, the winner of this round, will race the Rotax Max Grand Finals at Circuito Internazionale Napoli in Sano in the south of Italy at the end of October. The first round of the Euro Trophy, but it's a one-off cup race, the Belgian Cup, for the Mini Max drivers. Here's Nikita Lubomov. Already a Rotax Max Grand Final champion in Micromax back in 2021. Riley Moreau for Sam Pollard Racing. 2 laps remaining. The gap you can see, barely 2 kart lengths, if that. Nikita Lubomov, though, goes purple. He is catching for Buffon Power. There's the 145 of the Estonian. There's Albert Friend and Tom Reed. They're now split by the Buffon Racing Team entry. All Tony karts, but different teams. And Zajac goes on through. Does Mikal. the pole for Den Holland Racing. There's Luca in the background from Goodson, who's come from near on, not quite the back of the grid, but he's made up a ton of places in the first 6 laps of pre-final B for Minimax. Riley Moreau for Sam Pollitt Racing with the race lead, but Albert Friend wants back position 1 to try and take pole position for the final. At the moment, Friend would start out of grid 2, needs to take the lead to overtake Zdena Pavacek on points, and right now he may well overtake Riley Moreau, his countryman, for the lead of the race. Up the inside, he's been pushed by Lubomov, but can't quite do it. 97 k's an hour for Riley Moreau, 95 for Friend, 99 for Nikita Lubomov, but it was not enough. The Sam Pollitt Racing driver in the X3, who came from grid 10, has got the lead at the last lap of the race. Lubomov, Nikita down the inside. Zajac fighting, trying to take Albert Friend, who holds his nerve. Nicely done by Albert, does not flinch. The Winter Cup champion safe in 3rd place, you would think. Nikita wants it. There is Luca in P5 for KR Sports. Spencer Goodson, Bertolacini and Khan in the CS55 cards. Into the final corner, Riley Moreau, he will win pre-final B. The checkered flag is about to wave, and the Brit from the Estonian, Sam Pollitt Racing from grid 10. Riley Moreau, a super drive to win it from Lubomov, and Albert Friend P3. Super race in Minimax as ever. There is Jente Moonen coming across the line, so that speed from the Belgian throughout the heats did not materialise in pre-final B. From the start, let's take a look. Albert Friend, Riley Moreau just ducked to the inside, as did Luca Holmes-Balic, and then this contact. Mats Innes was involved. Did come home to finish in P9, did the Lithuanian in the parallel. He was up into P4, was Mats Innes. The Strawberry Racing carts, 1 and 2. Zajac from Poland was there, as well as Khan tried to defend. Ultimately finishing down in 18th place in the CS55 cart. Riley Moreau. Firstly taking Tom Reed's 2nd year in the Euro Rotax series, and then taking the lead away from Albert. As the Strawberry Racing drivers and Nikita Lubomov from Buvan Power, well, they sort of worked together, but they simply did not have the speed. Riley Moreau around the outside, despite the slipstream of the 2 Tony carts from the different teams, Strawberry Racing and Buvan Power, held his nerve to win by 0.2 of a second in the end, which is more than enough in Minimax. That checkered flag, Sam Pollitt Racing, Riley Moreau will be a contender for the final, gets a good bag of points out of this as we go into this afternoon's final. Moreau from Nikita Lubomov, Friend from pole position, Zajac, then Luca in the Birla for KR Sports, Spencer, Reed, Goodson, Mats Innes, P9. Remember, he was 25 in each of his heats, and Bertolacini from Argentina, also for the English Strawberry Racing team in P10. Khan down in 18th place after that strong early start, ahead of Marco Plinter in 19th. Junior pre-final A for Junior Max in just a moment. You're watching round 1 of the Euro Trophy for Rotax Max for 2024, live from GENK, the home of champions. Andiamo a Sarno. We'll see you at Sarno for the 2024 Rotax Max Challenge, the grand finals at the Circuito Internazionale Napoli, the Sarno circuit, which is being rebuilt as we speak. Just a few moments before the start of Junior Pre-Final A for Junior Max, the first round of the Rotax Euro Trophy for 2024, presented for the very first time by WSK Promotion. Race start in still 6 or 7 minutes time. Great to have your company wherever you're watching us live around the world on Motorsport TV. 239 drivers from 40 nations all around the world for the first round of the 2024 Rotax Max Challenge, presented by WSK Promotion for the first time. Genk here in Belgium, Wackersdorf in Germany, Franciacorta in the north of Italy, and for the very first time at the centre of the karting universe, South Garda Karting Lonato under lights. The last day of August, in the middle of the Italian summer, South Garda Karting Lonato to decide the 2024 championship. Pre-final A, we are racing sub judice, which means basically we're under appeal, so the results for the moment are not final. We do race pre-final A, no doubt. Jacob Ashcroft, about his form, took pole position. Won the B&L race here 7 days ago. Starts alongside Boaz Maximoff for Boulevard Power. Jacob Ashcroft, pole position on Friday. 3 heats, he won 2 of them, and came home second yesterday evening in his third and final heat. The Dan Holland Racing driver will start out of pole position. He'll be almost inevitably pushed by his teammate Cameron Nelson, who starts the inside second row, alongside Dragos Avisil-Kutay. On the podium in the grand finals is the MKC Motorsport driver from Austria. Pre-final A, live from Genk in Belgium. Still 5 minutes away from the race start. We'll take a very short break. We'll be back live from Genk in Belgium with Junior Max. Pre-final A, round 1 of the Rotax Euro Trophy from here in Belgium. Back here at Genk in Belgium for Junior Max. Pre-final A, this is the grid. Last year's mini champion Jacob starts out of pole position alongside Boaz Maximoff, Cameron Nelson. Dragos out of 4. Oscar, the French driver, has been superb out of 5 this week. Casper Nissen, Connor Clancy, the Irish Emirati, starts out of grid 7 alongside Nikita Shinobak from Belarus. Jake Woodsey, Jake Minton, Jake Fluett. 3 Jakes on the 5th and 6th row of the grid alongside Lewis Goff. Charles Kitely, Will Archer. Ryan Gandor, the Canadian, struggled this weekend alongside Ollie Weiss. Peruzzi, Jack Quinto, Marcus Narush, Leo Gonzalez, Marco Fali, Sebastian Luis, Rashid Hilal, and Timofey Tadashuk out of grid 23. Den Holland Racing versus Boulevard Power. The Dutch team had storming drive at Wilton Mill in the O-Plate from the back of the grid. He missed the podium, but came home fourth from last on the grid. Won here in the B&L 7 days ago when the weather conditions weren't nearly as favourable, certainly in the early part of last weekend, as we've got here this weekend for round one of the Rotax Euro Trophy for 2024. Timofey Tadashuk and Rashid Hilal, Victorious Motorsport on the back of the grid. Timofey warming up the tyres, the Mojos on the 270 Soddy. But it's Jacob for Den Holland Racing out of pole position. Boaz Maximoff on the outside. Jacob leads the field up to the line. We race. Dragos tries to shoot down the inside, but there's nothing but OTK karts ahead of him. Up into second place, Cameron Nelson. Den Holland Racing go 1-2 in the early stages. There is Oscar. Godshall in the RLS kart. Up into fourth place, the Frenchman goes P4. Goes wide though on the ripple strip. Knew it and looked over his shoulder as they go down the back straight for the first time. Casper Nielsen trying to make moves in that triple two. The RS competition kart, the Danish driver, the Danish team in the Tony kart. They're in sixth place, seventh place in fact. No, it is six, he's behind Dragos. The Austrian for MKC Motorsport, certainly one of the favourites here this weekend. Third in the Rotax Max Grand Finals, but as the Den Holland Racing drivers go 1-2. Maximoff in P3 from Oscar. So Cameron behind Jacob Ashcroft, who goes wide that time. Nelson just follows his teammate through. The Union Jacks on our timing screen go first and second. They're also in 8th and 9th with Lewis Goff. And the first Jake, it's Woodsy in 9. Fluids drop back to 11. Jake Nenton in 13. Jacob Ashcroft, P1, fastest qualifier on Friday by almost 0.2 of a second. A 55.237 to take pole position from Dragos, who was fastest in the second group with a 55.384. Jacob pole position, 2 heat wins. Heat 2 yesterday in his final heat. We're looking for Dragos, the MKC Motorsport kart. Coming across the line is the Austrian. He's in P6. Great start from the Irish Emirati. Connor Clancy, 294. Moves up through the field for Strawberry Racing. So they go down the back straight. Lewis Goff just behind. Good start from Lewis for Sam Pollard Racing. As Jake Woodsy goes purple in this sector, trying to make his way up through the field. It's Ashcroft slightly wide on the exit. Lewis Goff on the podium at the Winter Cup in position 8. Purple last time round, the Sam Pollard Racing driver. Reasonable run by his own high standards throughout the heat, or the heat races, and he comes onto the straight now, looks behind, does Lewis, back to Jake Woodsy. Dragos drops back. Jake Fluid has just got by the Austrian. Clips the ripple strip, does Jacob Ashcroft. Oscar down the inside and takes Cameron Nelson, who tries to fire it on back. Oscar defends, puts the kart in the middle of the circuit. Cameron Nelson straight over the ripple strip. There's Casper Nissen right behind. This is lap 4 of 12. Jacob Ashcroft can't yet drive away. He has got 2, maybe 3 kart lengths. Officially, it's only a 1/10 of a second as they fight behind Casper Nissen. Under attack from Connor Clancy. There is Connor up into P5 now. On the podium at Al Forzan at the end of 2023, racing in the Rotax Max Challenge over in the United Arab Emirates. As Jacob Ashcroft just gets the kart to hook up over the ripple strip, almost gets it airborne ever so slightly. The kart working nicely. The Lando Norris kart as Oscar in the background has to defend. As Boaz Maximoff down the inside and takes the lead away from Ashcroft for only the second time this weekend. The Den Holland Racing drivers second and third to the Maximoff. Boaz takes the lead. Take a look at this, down the back straight. Oscar in the background trying to defend. Jacob, those Mojo tyres have already raced 3 heats and half the pre-final this morning, screeching for grip. But it's Boaz Maximoff in the lead, but he gets taken back. Jacob says, not so fast, this race is mine. Ashcroft back into P1, and now Boaz Maximoff will have to respond quickly. He's passed by the second Den Holland Racing driver, Nelson. Nicely done by Cameron. Up the inside, DHR back 1 and 2. Clancy up into 4. Connor Clancy, CC, trying to go position 3. Fastest on the circuit at the moment is Ryan Gandor, the Canadian who had a tough run for KR Sport throughout the heats, but he's gone purple. Ryan Gandor just goes by Ollie Weiss and Lorenzo Jaquinto. A 55.3. Sorry, a 56.3. And as the leaders fight, he is faster than them. You see Ryan Gandor, he was 13th across the line last time. The Canadian in the background, 2.09, he's in the pack. Boaz back down the inside, and the Dutchman splits the 2 Brits. It's Connor in 4. Gandor, Ryan now up into position 11 behind Dragos. As Nielsen back into second place. The 2 Tony karts cut touch. Maximoff and Connor Clancy. Lewis Goff in P5 for St. Pollock Racing. On the podium at Campios in the Winter Cup. Lewis looking good here. Casper Nissen from Denmark's there as well. Jake Fluid, Jake Woodsy, Charles Geitley and Dragos back in position 10 ahead of Ryan Gandor. The Canadian for KR Sport. The world-class British team with their North American driver. But it's Den Holland Racing who go 1-2. There's Lewis Goff trying to take Casper Nissen, but can't quite do it as we hone in on the 2-3-0 for Boulevard Power. Boaz Maximoff, the Dutch Minimax champion, the Belgian Minimax champion, trying to win the Belgian Cup here this weekend as part of round 1 of the Rotax Euro Trophy for 2024. Ashcroft in P1 as Charles Keightley goes purple. Keightley with a 56.247. The KR Sport team driver in position 9, just going through now. So 4 laps remaining in pre-final 8 for Junior Max. Boaz Maximoff, who has twice tried to attack, not 1 but 2 Den Holland Racing drivers, the Lando Norris karts. Pre-final B with their teammates. For DHR in just a moment as Boaz back into second. Tom Strel from Latvia will start from pole position for pre-final B at the conclusion of this in 3.5 laps time. You can see Jacob Ashcroft skates under brakes. Those Mojo tyres have been tortured here this weekend at GENK in Belgium. Take a look at the replay just a moment ago. Boaz Maximoff, nicely done as he takes Cameron Nelson and splits the DHR duo. He's back into second. Can he catch Jacob Ashcroft? P1 with 3 laps remaining. Just under 1 mile for our friends watching on the other side of the English Channel is 1 lap of this world-famous GENK circuit. Nelson back up the inside. Boaz Maximoff has made more passes than anybody in this race for the same position to second and to first. but each time he's been taken back by both Jacob Ashcroft and Cameron Nelson. There's Connor Clancy, Casper Nissen, Jake Fluett. Lewis Goff has to defend now from Charles Keightley and Jake Woodsey. Ryan Gundor now up in a P10. That's better from the Canadian. Dragos back into 12. Struggling here this morning. Dragos. Avisil Kutay, the 14-year-old Austrian. Finished third in the Bahrain edition, or the first edition of the Grand Finals, held in Bahrain back in 2021 in Micro Max. He was fourth in this race at GENK last year. A contender, Dragos, he was faster in his first group of qualifying, but the Austrian, he's now been passed by Jake Woodsey for 12th. Dragos, the Austrian, is struggling. Jacob Ashcroft is pulling away on the penultimate lap of the race. Maximov, Boaz fighting. There's Casper up in a B4. Nissen from Clancy and Jake Fluett. The Den Holland Racing team, based at the famous English Wilton Mill circuit, running first and third here at GENK in Belgium. Boaz Maximov for the Boulevard Power team. Home circuit for the Dutch team with their Dutch driver, the Dutch Minimax champion, in position 2. But Jacob Ashcroft looking unstoppable, the fastest qualifier. He won here last week in the B&L Series. He is last year's Rotax European Minimax champion. A star of the future? No, he's a star of today. As his teammate fires that up the inside. He's gone through, he'll lose it on the exit as he tries to put Boaz into the grass. Maximov is tolerating zero of that. Nissen is catching the both of them. Cameron back around the outside. Ashcroft will win. Pre-final A for Junior Max. He drives away as they fight for second place. Watch Nissen as Nelson on the outside tries to get the run over the bumps. Nissen up the inside. Sensational from the Dane. Casper goes through to take position 3. Jacob Ashcroft wins. He will start on pole position for the final. Across the line in position 2 is Maximov. Nissen with a super pass on the last lap of the race. Fired it down the inside of Cameron Nelson to come home for RS competition in P3. You saw that coming. Unfortunately, Cameron Nelson did not. He was lining up the Dutchman. As we take a look at the highlights of pre-final A. Ashcroft from pole position. There was Dragos, who would ultimately fade to finish in 13th place, looking for a way through. Oscar around the outside, ultimately finishing in 12th ahead of the Austrian. Jacob Ashcroft, Cameron Nelson, the Dan Holland Racing. Running 1-2, Boaz Maximov. That was just the first time he would launch an attack as Oscar Rochelle followed him on through. Briefly, Oscar 2-1-3 up into position 3. Cameron Nelson soon retook the place. Connor Clancy was superb. The Irish Emirati for Strawberry Racing. As Jacob Ashcroft retook the lead from Boaz Maximov. On each occasion, the Dutchman passed him. Again, Maximov down the inside of Nelson into second place. Ashcroft took him back. Nice pass by Jake Fluett to go on through the MLC Motorsport driver. Ultimately finishing ahead of the KR Sport driver, Ryan Gundor. Good recovery for the Canadian as Cameron Nelson back into second place. Lewis Goff had to defend. He would finish P9 in pre-final A for Junior Max. Jacob Ashcroft pulled away as they fought for second place. Ashcroft to win by 1.6 seconds. Nelson with the big Hail Mary into turn 6. On the last lap of the race, Maximov into second where he would finish. Casper Nissen came from a long way back, a super pass from the Dane to take position 3. But Ashcroft wins. The Dan Holland Racing driver will start from pole position. That is provisional. Put an asterisk beside that comment, that statement. But looks unstoppable. He has finished on 2 points at this stage of the weekend. Maximov second, Nissen third. Nelson, then Clancy, Jake Fluid, Charles Kitely. Good recovery from Ryan Gundor, Lewis Goff in P9 on the podium at Campios, finishing ahead of Jake Woodsy. Ashcroft, almost unstoppable. Pole position 48 hours ago. 2 heat wins, a second last night, and a pre-final, a hard-fought pre-final victory here this morning. 2 points at this stage of the weekend, so you could probably remove the asterisk from that statement. We'll say it's provisional. I have to say that. But he looks unstoppable. Tom Stadell to start on pole position for a moment, even if he does win pre-final B. We believe, my mathematics is less than poor, but Jacob Ashcroft on 2 points cannot be beaten for pole position for the final this afternoon. Junior pre-final B for Rotax Max in just a moment. The Rotax Max Grand Finals to take place at Sarno in October, the biggest kart racing event in the world, has raced at some of the most exotic locations as well. The first edition way back in 2001, quarter of a century ago in Puerto Rico circuit. It does still exist. If you have nothing better to do, if you are watching us live, get out the phone, look out for the Puerto Rico circuit on Google Earth. I honestly forget the name of it. I haven't actually been there myself, but it does still exist. Does still host some races over in Puerto Rico. The host venue of the first ever Rotax Grand Finals, 2001, Langkawi. That circuit certainly does still exist. Langkawi hosting the Grand Finals in 2001 and 2005. Zwartkopf hosting the African Cup just a couple of weeks ago, in fact. One of the few FIA homologated circuits on Earth, with a figure 8 over and under bridge. 2002 host venue, 2003 Sharm el Sheikh in Egypt for the first time, Lanzarote in Spain in 04, then it was Malaysia, then it was Portugal, Alain in the Emirates, La Conca Muralachese for the first time in 2008, and then in 2010, Egypt in between. Some of the most exotic nations or places on Earth as we look at the grid for pre-final A for Junior B. New Orleans 2013. NOLA in Louisiana over a decade ago. Tom Stadell on pole position. Noah Jensen out of 2. Ties van Wyk, Tions in the Gillard kart. Sadurski at Max. Then Stevens, Armstrong, Kobekidze, Smith, Bran van der Berge, Schelles, Clark, Borgui, Martin Lickner, Yuri Levard, Polak, Bastien Ottensama, Antoine Lemieux, Rasmus, and Kubera. Jakob is ahead of Matis Omatrea, Marcel Thali, Matthias Kellerup, and Eden Topchich from Germany. In the Kraft Motorsport team, the German driver, the German team, out of grid 24. Tom Stadell, P2 in the Winter Cup.